Hello, my seedlings. I am Flower Boy or Bunny, whichever one you want to use. Today, I am complaining about DC, specifically the Batman series as a whole. I want to start by saying don't harass any of the writers, anyone that had to do anything with the overall production of any of the comics, TV shows, movies, even though I will be heavily critiquing a lot of them. Again, this is up to your own interpretation. This is just how I view the series and my major complaints about it. Without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with one of my favorite heroes, probably of all time, Batman, or the Dark Knight, or if you're Riddler in this case, the Dork Knight. So I want to start by saying what I view Batman is at least how I've always seen his character, and that is I've always seen him someone that's like been very empathetic towards a lot of the villains, especially understanding that a lot of these villains aren't evil monsters or just cruel people. A lot of them are just people that have serious mental illnesses that just need help, but they're not getting it. And like in the beginning, I would want to say from when the series was made to the 1990s, they stuck with that overall theme. So usually my depiction of Batman is going to be the older school ones as more of the better ones, since that was around the time where people really had an understanding of what his character was like. Until when we get in the modern area, it was so many years after Batman had originally been made. I feel like it drifted so much further than what he was supposed to be, and I hate that. So I want to get into some of the more major examples of this happening, specifically with Arkham City. Now, I actually happen to enjoy the Arkham games, but do I enjoy Arkham Batman? No, dude, they f***ed him up so bad. I hate Batman this series. He's not he's not Batman. The golden standard of Batman to me was always the original comics and then the animated series, which always has a special place in my heart, honestly. I love the animated series. Specifically, the Batman animated series from 1999. That gold standard Batman. There him and the original comic Batmans from that era will forever be how Batman should be. And anything else? No. Okay. So, in Arkham City, if you've never played it, basically what ends up happening is the spoilers, by the way, spoilers, so many spoilers in this video. If you don't want to get spoiled, just don't watch this because I'm going to be talking about a lot of modern Batman as well as older Batman. So if you don't get spoiled, you can't. I don't even think you could watch this video. Honestly, there's so many spoilers. Okay, so sorry for getting sidetracked. So in Batman Arkham series, Hugo Strange, who runs Arkham City because he took over running Arkham. I don't remember the lore of why, but it's not important. He initiates this plan where basically he goes around killing all of the people in Arkham City. So he's going around killing all these people by having these helicopters blow up and shoot all the people. And while this is happening, Talia goes to Joker and was like, I will give you the secret to immortality. Because if I remember the context correctly, I will correct myself if this is untrue. But if I remember the context, it's because she wants to get back at Batman for basically going through all of the trials to get immortality and then just not doing it and not want to continue on what Raish, that is how you pronounce his name, by the way, what Raish wanted to do, and that annoyed her, so she tries to get Joker and recruit him. Stupid idea, by the way. I don't know how she doesn't think this is a bad idea. But in this scenario, instead of, if we're thinking about Batman, like, you know, good, normal Batman, you would think he's gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna let you do this. This is horrible. I'm gonna save all the people, and then I'm gonna come back to Talia. If you thought that, you would be wrong, because this is stupid Batman, guys. So, obviously, that's not what happens. He is planning on letting everybody die just to save Talia. So what he does is he's like, Alfred, tell me Talia's location. And Alfred's like, you're seriously gonna let a bunch of people die? That's really bad. And I was like, I don't care. Just show me where she is. And it's like, are we serious? So obviously he doesn't let him do that, and then he's forced to save the people in Arkham Asylum. God forbid he doesn't let a bunch of people die as Batman, who is supposed to save people. Screw everyone. If you've committed a crime, you deserve to die. There's also a line in the game, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, I can try to look for it when I was playing, where Barbara's like, why do we care about all the people here? Aren't they all evil and villains? Does it not really matter if a bunch of people in here die by Deadshot, if I remember that was context correctly? Batman's like, well, there's also political prisoners, and they haven't really committed crimes. You know, they just kind of spited Hugo, so he wants to kill them. So you're telling me Batman thinks everyone that is mentally and criminally insane deserves to die? Wow, Batman, you're such a great guy. Oh my god. We love you, Batman. You're so amazing. Oh my god. Hands off to Batman, guys. I thought that was so stupid. Also factoring in the fact that there is a Batman animated series episode all the way back in 1999 where Mr. Freeze is willing to let a bunch of people die in order to save his wife, and Batman's like, don't do that. Would she still love you if she knew that you let everyone die, you know? Would she still feel the same if she woke up in a world knowing everyone was mostly dead except for a couple people because you wanted, you know, you wanted to save me? And it's like, that's a really good point. Then why, years down the line, Batman throws all that shit out the window and says, actually, no, I'm gonna do the same thing and only minorly be yelled at for doing it. Great job, writers. This is genius. And then another thing in Arkham that he does, this is also might have some bias because I'm a fan of Mad Hatter, but I'm going to explain why this is stupid. But in where basically Mad Hatter tries to get into Batman's mind, this also happens in Arkham City. Batman tells him to go to hell. Batman, I don't know how telling a mentally ill man to go to hell is going to help him at all. He also beats him up and then doesn't provide him any help and he leaves him there. He does that with a lot of the villains, which is kind of fucked up when you think about the fact that they're all extremely mentally ill and most of them don't, especially Mad Hatter doesn't really have an understand of what they're doing is wrong, and he's just like beating them up and then leaving them there. I don't really like Batman the Arkham series because when you think about his character more, you just kind of realize he's just like a really cruel person that doesn't care about anyone unless he considers them normal. Because if you're not normal, then you deserve to die or at the very least be beat up to the point of death. And then he won't care about you, and then he'll just throw you into a place where you'll be tortured, which is Arkham Asylum. And Arkham Asylum has multiple different, like, adaptations of it where 99% of the time the people in Arkham Asylum are being actually and literally tortured. So, issue. He's not really helping any of these people. At least with the Batman animated series version, you could argue that he doesn't really know about the goings-on in Arkham Asylum. Oh, so he did try to help out when the one guard started being really cruel, Lyle Bolton. So, he does help when he can about the facility not being good, but in the more modern times, he just doesn't care. He doesn't try to help them anymore. He doesn't try to do anything else. It's just like, that's all I can do, guys. And it's like, wow, Batman, you're so awful. It's like, it's ridiculous. And then also the fact that, like, you could argue this point, but he's more upset over Joker being dead than Talia, or at least that's how I thought about the scene, because he seems way more distressed over his death than Talia. I guess you could argue that she could just use the Lazarus pit to bring her back to life, but then you could also argue he can also just bring Joker back to life with the Lazarus pit, so technically neither of them are really dead. So it's just kind of weird that he's like mourning the loss of Joker, who this whole time has been nothing but like a horrible piece of shit and a nuisance to the entirety of Gotham. But whatever, I guess. You do you, Batman. Uh, Again, this brings back to my point, even though this kind of doesn't bring back to my point, but I want to go back to my main point of Batman just being completely unsympathetic and being less passionate to the villains as the modern times progress. The more modern Batman is, the less compassionate I feel like he is. Like, I tend to notice this trend where they try to make Batman the series try to be more dark and gritty, but by doing that, they also make the villains worse and then make Batman less compassionate about them and more like, I need to defeat them, and less like, I need to help them, which was always Batman's thing. So it just feels wrong almost, where he just no longer cares about actually providing help because it just doesn't matter to him anymore. It drifts so far away from Batman, what Batman was, and the whole reason why he doesn't hate Joe Chill, the man that killed his parents, was because he realizes that not every person that does super evil things is a terrible person, and sometimes they're just genuinely in a moment of distress or mental anguish, and they just need the help that they're not getting. And that's why I always like Batman. So that's why it always feels wrong when we push that to the wayside to make it more gritty, which is just unnecessary. You can still make Batman gritty in a dark series with dark topics and not get rid of the compassion and the caring and the sympathizing that Batman is supposed to have. It just feels very jarring. Like watching Batman 2022, sorry, the Batman 2022, and then going back and watching Batman from 1999, or even the very original, the first ever animated Batman series, it's just as jarring. Because it's such a different character that's gone so far away from the original point of Batman that it's almost hard as someone that likes old school Batman to watch newer Batman and enjoy it. Um, Another Batman butchering of his character was in the third adaptation of the animated series. The one where they made all the character designs really ugly from the original Batman animated series. It's like, I think it's just called the animated series. I don't remember. There's like a different acronym for it compared to BTAS, which is Batman the Animated Series. I'll show you a picture. They did Jervis so dirty. They did all the villains so dirty. They're so ugly. I hate it. They ruined everybody. Don't even get me started on Two-Face, dude. Have you seen Two-Face 9? Ugh. What did they do to him? They put him in acid twice. Once on the other side of his face, too, because he's butchered. They butchered him. The design went down so bad, but that's beside the point. There's a scene in the Old Wounds episode where it talks about the falling out between Robin and Batman, where Batman starts harassing a man in front of his wife and kids. And the wife and kids are in distress, and Robin's like, hey, Batman, let's not do this. And Batman's like, shut the fuck up, Robin. I don't care. Why would he do this? This is just not something Batman would do. Batman, even to non-mentally ill villains, was always still nice. If this was literally the in a season ago, because in Amazon Prime it's counted as season 4, even though if you ask me, I would say it's a completely new show because it's so bad, is season 3. He would have never acted like this. So one season apart, and he's a new character now who apparently feels no sympathy for anybody. That's great. It's really nice Batman, guys. Yeah. And then, another thing, speaking of the lockup episode I was talking about earlier, where Batman's his thing that has always been concurrent in a lot of, like, the original Batman, is the fact that he always believes these villains can change. He doesn't believe they should be tortured or being beyond cruelty. He feels like if they get the help they need, they can be better. They can always change. They can always grow a new leaf.
I apprehended the scum of the earth, and I kept them locked away.
I've seen how you treat your prisoners. Forgotten and scared. Without hope or compassion.
Can it be you actually care for those creatures? You're just as crazy as they are.
And that is something that has been completely erased in modern media. Just completely thrown out the window. And it just really hurts to just see this as someone that genuinely loved Batman, to just watch him be so bastardized by the writers and just the entire conglomerate as a whole. And then let's move on to another franchise I hate that also involves Batman, which is probably one of my, like, I think if I had to put a tier list, it would be my second least favorite, even though everyone really likes these movies. I hate them. And that's the Batman Begins movie, the Dark Knight movie, the Dark Knight Returns. Those movies are shit. I don't care. Unpopular opinion, those suck so bad. I wanted to drill a drill into my head. It was that bad. They do Joker so dirty, but I'll be talking about him in the next video, so I'm not gonna talk about him that much. But they did bastardize him too in that movie really, really bad. But he helps cheat in the Dark Knight movie. Because he has this stupid childhood friend. I don't know if she's ever existed in any other medias. I've never heard about her at all, so I don't even know where she existed in the originals. I've never read too much of the original comics, so I wouldn't know. So maybe she is. I don't know. It just felt weird to just give him a random love interest, if you ask me, even if this was in the original comics. But anyways, I forget her name. Let's call her love interest, because I'm sorry, that's the only purpose she serves. This movie is very bland and has a lot of characters of one note, and she happens to be just the love interest because she doesn't do anything else except be the love interest and the driving force for Batman to do stuff. Anyway, so she's Rachel. Her name's Rachel. I think so. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. I'll just refer to her as Rachel, and I'll just dub it over if I'm wrong. So Rachel is dating Harvey Dent. They do Harvey Dent really good in this movie. I will say he is good. The good Two-Face. Anyways, so she's dating Harvey. And Batman is still in love with her. So, well, I think if I remember correctly, this was at a party where he was also there. If I remember the scene correctly. But Batman kisses her. Granted, he kisses her as Batman. Whoopsie daisy, he does not actually kiss her as Batman, he kisses her as Bruce Wayne. But, like, she's still dating Harvey Dent. Like, let's say, for example, I had a soon-to-be husband, because he does end up asking her to marry him not even that long after the kissing scene. Pretty fucked up, you ask me. Where she says, I don't know, because she literally kissed Batman. But if I had a boyfriend, and I really loved my boyfriend, I don't care if... I can't think of that many superheroes I'm attracted to, actually. Let's just say Superman. If Superman busted through my house and was like, I love you, let's kiss, and I was dating my boyfriend, and I love my boyfriend very much, I wouldn't kiss him. I don't care that he's a superhero. at all. It does not matter to me because that's still cheating. And it's up because he says he's friends with Harvey. You're not friends with Harvey. You just got his girlfriend to cheat on him. Batman, why do you suck so bad? Also, I'm not a big fan of the casting because it's literally I can only ever see his actor as the killer from American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. He's just Patrick Bateman. I don't see him as Batman. I just see him as Patrick Bateman. So I can't even take the movie seriously because Patrick Bateman is there. Anyways, another movie that I have a love-hate relationship. Actually, because no, the other movie was just a hate relationship. But another movie, it's like I love but I also hate is the Batman 2022 movie because I like how they did Penguin and I like how they did Riddler, but I hate how they did Batman so much. They just make him a lazy rich bastard. I hate him because he's just a nepo baby. He's not good. I hate him so much that I hate the fact that I agree with the Riddler in hating him so much because he's useless. I get he's depressed because his parents died, but all the other Batmans didn't have this much of an issue with helping in the community. He didn't do. He stood in his mansion being like, oh, woe is me this whole time. Get over yourself. You have so much that he needs to be doing that he just doesn't do, like running his father's company. He runs it into the ground. Nothing else, man. He doesn't try to help it. He just straight down. Great job. You really helped your dead dad, Bruce. You idiot. I feel like I'm Riddler right now. It doesn't help that I kind of look like Riddler when I'm complaining about Bruce Wayne. But, like, I agree with him. He's such a rich bastard. I can't root for this Batman. He's just a Nepo baby. But they did Riddler good. I like Riddler. And they did Penguin so good. Also, they make him so hot. Whoa. Holy smokes, Batman. They do make Penguin so sexy, dude. I just like Penguin. They make Penguin good. I like Mafia Boss Penguin. I like it when they make him Mafia Boss. He feels true to his character. Anyways, next movie I also have a love-hate relationship with is Long Halloween. I actually do like this movie. I feel iffy about Dent. I do feel like they do his character pretty good. It's a little loosey-goosey, honestly. If you ask me, him teaming up with the Joker and Penguin made no sense to me because, like, he knows Joker is a crazy piece of shit. Also, isn't Penguin a mob boss? Wasn't his whole thing is he hates mob bosses? I don't know. I still need to finish it. I only have 14 minutes left. I would talk about The Killing Joke because everyone talks about how bad of a movie that is too. But I have not watched The Killing Joke, and I don't have time to, so I'm probably gonna watch it at some point, so I'll let you guys know if it's super horrible so I can tack this onto my second video when I talk about Joker, if The Killing Joke is really bad. Because I know some things I want to talk about in The Killing Joke, specifically clips, but I haven't seen the whole movie. Anyways, back to Long Halloween. Batman literally says that he would have sent all the villains to the penitentiary if it weren't for Dent that put them all in Arkham Asylum. That's wrong, Batman. It's crazy that he's like, all these villains are really trying to get help and better themselves while they're in Arkham Asylum, which doesn't help them at all, but let's pretend like it's supposed to because that's technically what it's supposed to do. He's like, I would have sent all of these mentally ill people that need help to death. As someone that has read books, or at least a book and the movie, it was very good if you ask me, by Brian Stevenson about the death penalty. I'm forgetting what the book is called. I'll put it on screen. It's a really good book. Just check it out. I got a lot more into the death penalty, and it is so messed up for Batman to be like, I would have personally let them all get murdered. I thought his whole thing he's against murder. He's all for legal murder now. That's stupid. You can't have Batman be against killing people, but him for legal murder. Then why doesn't he kill them? When has he ever followed laws before? He never follows laws because he's a vigilante. So why doesn't he kill them? Why can he be for legal murder but not illegal murder? And then people are gonna be like, well, if he killed them all, then he's just like them. Letting them die legally is also still bad, guys. And he's still being just like them because he's letting them die instead of getting them help. Also, Arkham Asylum in this movie is hell, by the way. It's like a big tower with cell, glass wall. At least the guards are kind of nice to them, I guess. Other than that, it's just very depressing. I don't see how they're getting help. It looks kind of like a torture chamber, if you ask me. They also, somehow Joker escapes. I don't know if they ever say how he escaped in the movie, but like, are we serious? Same thing with Scarecrow escaping? Are we serious? Why is the security in, like, Arkham Asylum so bad? Almost like they want them to get out. It's ridiculous. Time to move on from Batman to another character that they butcher. So, in my opinion, even worse in most cases, and that is Catwoman. Dude, Catwoman has been so bastardized. Like, I would say that her character is still bastardized, even in the Batman animated series in 1999. I still would say that it's not. They do her dirty. I don't know if it's because that's just how her character is, and her character is just bad design, just a bad design character in general. That might be the case. I don't know if she was different in the original comics, but I know in the modern times it's gotten so much worse, especially in the 2000s and 2010s. Bad. My biggest complaint about what they do with Catwoman is the constant need to sexualize her in everything she says, everything she does, everything she dresses in. It's always gotta be some really tight-fitting latex clothing, and they have to make her super curvy, and they have to make it so she talks in a really sexual voice like this. And they have to make it so she's always flirting with all of the male characters all the time. And we have to boil her down to the point where she's just the love interest for Batman. She has no other personality because you. In certain iterations of Catwoman, I feel like they do her pretty good. Like Batman 2022, I think was good for Catwoman. Um, Arkham, the Arkham series is probably the worst I've ever seen them do Catwoman. Like, bad. To the point where I can't stomach playing her in the Arkham games because she's just so sexualized. There's nothing else to her character, and it's so uncomfortable to play as her because she's like always has like this moany voice that's like so sexual, and she's always flirting with the male characters, and just her whole relationship with Batman is just really gross. I just hate playing games because it just makes me sick, man. I can't I don't want to do this. It's just not good. No. No. It's bad. It's like, it's so. It's like, I would have to have you play the games. I will be showing some examples on screen.
Seriously, do I look like Batman? Sorry to disappoint you, boys. Good girl, Ivy. I can always count on you to make the earth move. I guess you're tunneling into Strange's vault below ground. What's wrong?
Ew. I forgot that. But, like, the uncomfortableness I feel when playing as Catwoman, she's also just not fun to play as because her controls are so bad. Because obviously she isn't meant to be a cool fighting character because she barely has any good fighting moves, and every time I play as her, I die all the time because she literally has no health. I hate playing as Catwoman. It makes me want to tear out my own eyeballs. I'd rather play as my literal cat, and he's stupid. But I still love him. He's my stinky dumb little boy. And those are my biggest points for Catwoman. It's like there isn't too much else to talk about her except for the fact they sexualized her, and that's all with her character to the point where that's all I can talk about because that's what they do to her. That's the way they butcher her. They just completely sexualize her character to the point where she's nothing more than just a sex object, and that's terrible, and I hate it. It's so bad. It's like probably one of the worst female characters in the sense of like she's the one that they do the most dirty out of everybody is Catwoman, and it's because she dresses like a cat. I feel a lot of people are really into the cat thing, so it's like out of everyone, she has done the worst. Time to move on to Harley Quinn, probably one of my favorite female villains that they constantly do dirty all the time. Now, my gold standard for Harley Quinn is, again, Batman the Animated Series from 1999, because they make it so that her personality is aloof, where she's Luffy, but she's not stupid. Like, she's silly, and where she's, like, easily excitable, she's very happy and silly, she can be, like, kind of, like, dumb sometimes, but she's never, like, stupid. She does have some issues with Joker, but it's, like, to the point where it's, like, you can see that they're in an abusive relationship and see why she doesn't get away from him, because it's kind of hard to anyways, and also because she doesn't really see the issue with her and Joker, because she's not looking at it from an outside perspective. And it's usually because Joker acts nice to her and then does something bad to her. As someone that was in a very similar relationship, it's hard not to. Especially because she doesn't have a lot of friends outside of just Joker and the gang. She's friends with Poison Ivy, and that's about it. But she's not even really friends with Poison Ivy because she like just met her in like a couple episodes, and that she's only around Joker, so it's not like she has anybody else to go to for an outside opinion. So it's like I can't even blame her for her relationship with Joker in that series because it's not her being stupid; it's her being an abusive relationship that she can't get out of. So I'm not going to blame her for that because that would be messed up. But my biggest issue with what they do to her is that they make her less like a silly, funny character and more into like hardcore badass, doesn't give no fucks. And I hate that. I'm tired of all female characters constantly having to be like crazy badass, doesn't care about anyone else but themselves, because I hate it because it's too common now where it's just annoying. And it's like we don't even have, like, when I think about it, we don't really have a lot of characters that are women that are like silly and funny, that like do goofy stuff but aren't completely stupid. Like, it bothers me because I love that for her character because it's something you don't see that often. And then they just made her like everybody else, so now it's just not good anymore. It's like I miss how she used to be. I won't even talk about certain comic adaptations, especially not that one comic. Never, never, I'm never reading it, okay? Even for this video, I refuse to read it. I saw someone reading it because they were curious, and it was so no, I'm not gonna read for this video. I'm sorry, I'll not torture myself by reading the Harley Quinn fart comic. I don't need to read the comic to know that her character's gonna be really bad. It's just common sense. And another thing they do with Poison... Why did I say Poison Ivy? Gosh. Another thing they do with Harley Quinn that is also really annoying is when they constantly boil her down to just being Joker's girlfriend, or just being Poison Ivy's girlfriend, depending on which series you're watching, where that's her only character, and she doesn't really have much personality outside that, other than being lovey-dovey. And I hate that, because it's like, just let her be silly, guys. Just let her be her own character who's silly and goofy and funny and does her own stuff that is separate from everybody else. Like, it makes me sad, but I feel like they constantly boil her down to that, especially in fandoms. It's even worse in fandoms, actually. And then, I won't even talk about, well, I will talk about it. I don't even want to get too much into the Harley Quinn show, because the Harley Quinn show is so unbelievably bad, and people constantly try to justify to be like, it's a parody. But it's not a good parody, it's an awful parody. I don't care that it's a parody. It's a bad parody. And it's not even funny. It's like if you combined Family Guy with Has Been Hotel. And I hate both of them. I kind of like Family Guy, but because it's really bad. But it's like if you combine those two together, and the humor is awful because most of the humor is just, I'm gonna swear and I'm gonna do an inappropriate thing, and we're gonna talk about sex and joke about sex. Also, men suck. Boo. It's not good and it's not funny and I can't get into it. I want to talk about what they did to Mad Hatter. It's like his personality I did think was funny, but they make him too weird, and it's like I know it's a parody, but like no. They also make him look like a leprechaun. He doesn't. This is not Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter's not a leprechaun, guys. Anyways, enough about Mad Hatter. I'm talking about him a ton in the second video. And then with the Harley Quinn show, as someone that's watched a little bit of it every once in a while because it's really bad, but it makes me want to tear out my eyes too much to watch it a ton. And that is the one episode. I'm forgetting what episode it was. I'll put it on screen what episode it is. But it's the episode where Harley Quinn gets back with the Joker after being bited into the Legion of Doom. Sorry, I forgot how stupid of a name that is. By the way, that's the villain organization called the Legion of Doom. Are we serious? The Justice League is a better name than the Legion of Doom. The Legion of Doom just sounds stupid. Like Legion. Legion is the good part. Doom is the bad part because then it's like, wow, that's not scary. Even if it was Legion of Destruction, which is kind of stupid, but it's at least a little better than just Doom. I don't even want to talk about the placement of their evil secret hideout because it's right in the middle of the city. So great job, guys. Anyways, this episode makes her look so dumb for getting back with Joker. Because the differences between her getting back with Joker in this series and her getting back with Joker in the Batman animated series is that in the Batman animated series, she didn't have any friends. She didn't have anyone to lean on. She has like a bunch of friends in the Harley Quinn show, and a lot of them show her why Joker's bad for her. But she just completely ignores them and brushes them aside, and then acts completely stupid, where it almost feels justified that this is happening to her because of the shitty things that she's done. I can't feel any sympathy for her because by now she knows that Joker is bad for her. She has friends that tell her to stay away from Joker, and she still goes back to him. It's like not even like she's in an abusive relationship. It's just that she's dumb, and it's not good. And the scene of him betraying her happens so quick that it's almost comedical. And I feel like they want you to take it seriously. But I can't because it's so dumb and it's so stupid that it's like, are we serious? Like this is just kind of played up for laugh. Also, they make like a joke, haha, like the shippers showed up and they love Joker X Harley. Ah, the Joker X Harley ship is back. They torture people in this city, and you expect me to believe the news is like, hey guys, our two favorite villains might be getting back together. Oh, our favorite ship. Joker literally on a daily basis kills a bunch of you people. Why are you cheering for him in his new relationship? Are you guys dense? Dense. Harvey Dent? You know, it's so stupid. I hate the constant bastardization of everything I love and just constantly being so bad. I feel like I either haven't talked enough, but I also feel like I've talked too much because it's been 40 minutes. So I feel like this is a good endpoint, especially because the rest of the stuff I'm talking about is going to be for part 2. So please check in for that video. It will be coming out shortly. I'm very sleepy. It is currently 10:30 at night. And I've just been ranting about Batman. I have to edit this video too. So, yeah. Honestly, let me know, guys, if you agree with any of my opinions or if, like, there's anything that I left out that you guys feel like I should talk about for any series, again, with the Killing Joke, I have not seen it. So I don't know if they've bastardized any of the characters, especially in part 2. I will not be able to talk too much about Joker for the Killing Joke. We'll just see if I manage to finish it, because it is, again, an hour-long movie, and I don't have an hour to sit down and watch a movie, especially with school and my naps. I really like my naps, guys. So, just hit that thumbs button, smash the subscribe button, and then just comment and let me know what you think. It's like my first ever commentary video, so the audio quality is probably not going to be very good because I'm using on my laptop microphone, because I tried to use my microphone, and then somehow I messed up the calibration for my microphone, so it just doesn't work. And then also I'm just using my camera for my computer, so it's not the best layout. But this is the only layout I have, so you guys are going to have to deal with that for a bit, because I don't have money to make a high quality YouTube setup. So this is what you get, guys, and you don't throw a fit, as they say. But except me, I will throw a fit, and I will complain, especially if it's about DC and their constant bastardization of every single character I've ever loved. So, hey, so this is post Bunny after recording. It took me 2 hours to edit this 40-minute video, and oh my gosh, this is honestly horrific. I'm making this kind of to beg a little bit. Please give me an A. Please give me an A, Miss Teacher, that I can't name for privacy reasons. I'm so tired. I don't think a single person has spent this long on this project, and I still have to edit the other video. So I'm gonna take a break because I'm so tired, and I know I'm gonna be exhausted tomorrow. So yeah, bye guys. God.